What's up, guys? Today I'm here with Sandra Ratley and Charlotte Mangan, the co-writers, producers, and directors of the series Unladylike 2020. So, ladies, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to speak with me.
Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much,
having
John.
us.
So nice to be with you today.
So, first of all, can one of you just kind of give me a brief synopsis of what your series is all about?
Sandy, you want to go ahead?
I will. It's a little counterintuitive because this was a dream that Charlotte Mangan had, and it's so compelling that she had the vision to know that about 9 years ago, actually, that 2020 was going to be the 100th anniversary, the centenary of the 19th Amendment being ratified into law, giving voting rights to women in the United States, and had a real prescient moment of understanding that there are so many stories that we don't know. Women who were trailblazers and 100 years ago and more did amazing things that everyone should know, girls should know, boys should know, so that we started doing research and found over 250 women, narrowed that scope down to 26. So we've had the privilege to really learn the personal narratives and the accomplishments of 26 women who really changed America. They all did extraordinary things. Their lives are so nuanced and complex and are such a tableau that tells the story of America. So we are very happy that in looking at unladylike behavior of what women did at a time when wearing pants was outlawed, they didn't have the right to vote, many didn't have the opportunity to work or to get education, that women just created a pathway forward for not only for other women, but for the nation as a whole, as change makers. So that's what Unladylike 2020 is all about.
All right, so Charlotte, one of the things I want to ask you about is that when making a body of work of this nature, how big of an importance or responsibility do you feel there is to kind of teach someone about something that they didn't know before, since this has such a deep educational background to it?
Absolutely. And you're right. I think recent reports show that only 1 in 15 historical figures even mentioned in US history books is a woman, and often it's as a sidebar, not as an integral part of the history. It was really important to me from the get-go to bring back to life the stories of women who are not the usual suspects, not the Susan B. Anthony and the Amelia Earharts, as amazing as their accomplishments were. I was interested in women I'd never heard of, and that the public as a whole has never heard of. And what was most challenging is that archive is very limited because these women didn't make it into the history books. Not that much of imagery and correspondence and manuscripts and so on related to their lives has been preserved. So early on, we connected with an artist who has created this beautiful animation and portraiture to really bring these stories back to life in a unique and colorful way. Also wanting to appeal to youth who might otherwise think that black and white photography is boring. No, in fact, this history is exciting and dynamic, and these are adventure stories that still resonate today. And to that end, also, we wanted to highlight women who are essentially walking in the footsteps of these women from the past. So in every episode, we interview a woman in the same profession who's still breaking barriers in some way, as a way also to make the past feel alive and present today.
So, seeing as how the Bentonville Film Festival is so heavily mission based on diversity and inclusion, what does it feel like for both of you to have your series, which ties hand in hand with that concept, displayed here at the BFF as opposed to all the other festivals out there?
Well, I'm going to just start, and Charlotte, please join in. As we were actually building our network of supporters, applying for funding, one of the sources that we actually used for helping to make our case was research from the Gina Davis Institute, and really kind of looking at the core values of the Bentonville Film Festival to support the idea of the importance of these stories. So we were inspired and actually informed by the research that precedes the festival, and it really means a lot to us considering the focus and the voices that are missing for us to be a part of it.
And especially this year, where I read in your press release that I think over 80% of the projects are by women and specifically women of color filmmakers, and we have a highly diverse women-led team, and obviously all of the stories that we've highlighted are those of women, and so it's just a huge honor.
All right, so before I let you go, for those of us who don't know much about Unladylike 2020 but want to find out more, do you guys have any social media that you want to put out there so we can go check it out?
So we have a website, unladylike2020.com. The films also live on the PBS website at pbs.org/unladylike2020. Early on, we partnered with American Masters, Public Media's premier biography series, as our main distribution partner. And you can follow us on social media at Unladylike2020 or hashtag Unladylike2020 PBS.
All right, thank you both so much for your time today.
Thank
you,
you so
John.
much for the opportunity.